So as you heard, I'm a chef, and I met Ben Miller and his then wife Christina Martinez in 2015 after I closed my restaurant Geechee Girl, and I worked with them because I was interested in food and social justice, and I finally had enough time to work on it. And Ben and Christina were trying to change the story on undocumented restaurant workers. On a Monday in March of 2020, Ben called me in a panic. COVID was already big, scary news, but the city, in its typical fashion, was silent. And one thing that I knew was that Jose Andres was just about the only person giving advice to the restaurant industry. And luckily for us, Ben and Christina actually know Jose. So we had a big, Ben first said he could come here, and I'm like, I don't think we want anybody to come anywhere. But we had a big call, and he was great. He was encouraging. He had wonderful advice. He remains the only person I've ever addressed as chef. About about a week after that, after that call, the city went on citywide lockdown. So when that happened, Aziza Young, who was a private chef, had this fear about Philadelphia school children because no school, no meals. And she called Ben and Christina and asked if she could use their kitchen. She got supplies through a donation from a generous client. And her first realization was it wasn't just children that needed food. And her second realization was she was going to need help cooking. So she tapped her chef friends and started making meals 5 days a week out of a kitchen that Barbacoa owns with a team of chefs. So when Ben started the People's Kitchen, he used Aziza's model of a team of chefs, funding from Jose Andres' World Central Kitchen, and organizing help from 215 People's Alliance. What we were able to do was provide sorely needed meals for our communities, give employment to devastated restaurant workers. We provided internships for idled high school culinary students, and we provided connections for otherwise isolated volunteers. And so what do Ben and Christina and Jose Andres and Aziza and I have in common? We're all chefs. And you might think that what chefs do is cook, but what chefs do is take care of people. We would not be here in front of you if we trusted the city of Philadelphia or the state of Pennsylvania or the United States to take care of the most vulnerable among us. But what if we all recognized our innate ability and desire to contribute? What if I told you that that feeling of helplessness that overwhelms so many of us these days is a lie? It's a lie perpetuated by the people in charge because it keeps us passive, disconnected, and immobilized. We have been trained to wait for the government or an NGO or somebody else to take care of systemic problems. But why wait? Why can't we, as communities of citizens and neighbors, collectively address the problems that we face? Mutual aid is an alternative to charity. Taking care of our communities is an alternative to capitalism. The People's Kitchen is an example of what mutual aid can look like. We are supported by small donations from regular people, and we're not dependent on the shifting winds of the nonprofit industrial complex. We're not weighed down by the endless grind of grant cycles. We're able to remain nimble and flexible and responsive to the needs of our communities. 4 years later, the pandemic is over, but all the needs still exist. We still provide hundreds of restaurant quality meals free of charge every week. We still provide employment. We still provide connection. We make our facility available to like-minded progressive groups who need a kitchen. And because we don't just want food. We want food sovereignty. In 2021, Ben started the People's Kitchen Farm in Southwest Philadelphia. So I want to talk about, in the prison abolition movement, there's a saying, we don't need police because we protect us. And I think that's true, could be true of all of us, and it's true in the mutual aid movement too. So I believe that we nourish us, we build community for us, we take care of us, and we protect us. And I invite you to become a sustaining donor of the People's Kitchen and continue this work.